In the quest for a more scale-like appearance for my MN78, I modified these 1.0 inch tires and these 1.3 inch wheels to fit. These wheels and tires are closer to the scale that I am after than the original MN78 wheel and tires. My intent is to represent a 31 inch tire and a 15 inch wheel that is close to my Jeep Cherokee's appearance. A 31 inch tire comes in at about a scale of 65.5 millimeters. The closest tire I could find that looked right was a 64 millimeter, but only in a tire that would fit a 1.0 inch wheel. The 1.3 wheel was the wheel that I wanted to go with, since it was pretty close to the scale of the 15 inch Jeep wheel. I had to modify the 1.0 inch tires to fit the 1.3 inch wheels. I also had to modify the 1.3 inch wheels to fit under the fenders of the MN78 for a more scale look. At first I looked around to find the right wheel-tire combo, but I always came up with the same thing. The wheels were the right diameter, but wrong wheel size. After doing some digging, I found that you could trim the 1.0 inch tires to fit the 1.3 inch wheels. First, I turned the tires inside out. There is usually a thicker piece of rubber right around the inner diameter of the tire. I simply just used a pair of scissors and carefully cut the thicker piece of rubber off. This makes a perfect diameter for the 1.3 inch wheel to fit into. Here is a comparison of the stock MN78 tire and wheels to the new tire and wheels. The MN tire is pretty close to the stock Cherokee tire diameter. The wheel, however, is out of scale and is representing a 17 inch wheel rather than a 15 inch wheel. I am satisfied with what is available in the 1/12 inch scale, coming in close to what I wanted to represent. Now it is time to mount the new wheels and tires, but as I suspected, the wheels had way too much negative offset, and they sit way out from the fenders. Not finding any other wheel that might work, I decided to try to make these wheels work. I ordered in some wheel adapters. These wheel adapters not only adapt the MN 5mm axles to the 7mm wheels, but also provided a good depth to support the axle end in the wheel. I first had to insert the wheel adapters into the wheels, however. To do this, I chased out the original screw hole on the face of the wheel with a 5/16 inch drill bit. This allowed me to insert the wheel adapter into the wheel. The 5/16 inch drill bit made a hole big enough for the adapter to snugly fit into the wheel. I pushed the adapter in until I had it flush with the back of the wheel. In my case, you can still see a bit of the original 7mm hex on the back side of the wheel. I positioned the adapter so that the points of the adapter were on the flat of the original hex on the wheel. This aligned the adapter better and made for a more snug fit. I then spun the wheel on an axle that I had laying around to balance the wheel to the adapter, pushing down on the high side till I got the wheel to spin smoothly. Once I was satisfied with the balance, I mixed up some 5-minute 2-part epoxy and laid the epoxy into the wheel around the wheel adapter. I only mixed enough epoxy for each wheel so that the epoxy would flow laying it in. This allowed the epoxy to flow down the adapter and fill in those voids that the hex created. Also allowed the epoxy to settle smoothly in the hub. I let the epoxy cure for 24 hours and then attached them to the axles. I am pleased with the outcome, and so far the epoxy seems to be holding up. Hope this helps, and thanks for watching.